Hi, my name is Ben, and this is Northwest Sasquatch Studies and Research. I cleaned the print. I think, like my girlfriend says, I think the age of the print and just the terrain, it was in a swampy area. And I think that's what happened here. I don't. It was hot too that day, and this is my very first time ever doing a cast, so I don't know if that had something to do with it. Just need to be thinner consistency on the plaster. I don't know. We had it about pancake batter, so I don't know. But so far, looking at it, there's a big toe, and then my girlfriend, I couldn't see and she doesn't really. She's assuming on the spectrum of it's either real or it's fake, like in between. I think I don't know. I've actually haven't asked her, but I don't think I have. But she says that she sees other toes. She says she sees the big toe, which I see the big toe. This is not the toe. This is the toe. This is. Then another toe, and a little bit of another toe. And then apparently I did not cast it enough to get the pinky toe. But I guess if you look at it from this angle, you can see this toe. At least I'm blind as a bat, but she had better eyesight than I do. You can probably see more. And then the cool part about this cast is I know it was a huge footprint because when we took the film of the film of it, the pictures and the measurements, you could see I had her even look at it, and I did not say anything. I let her look at it to make the judgment because I want someone that doesn't really believe in it fully look at it to see what her thoughts are on it. And I asked her, "What do you see?" And she said, "I see toes." And she pointed to the same thing I was looking at as toes. And there were definitely 5 digits. And some reason they just didn't really show up in the cast, and I don't know what I did wrong. It is kind of cool though. You can see out. You probably can't see in the video, but this is a deer track right here, and there might be another one right here, and then this is just an assumption, but I think this might be an elk track too that walks sideways through it too. But there looks to be a metatarsal. I can't say the word. That break people talk about into the foot. I think it looks like there's one right here, because if you look at it, there's this weird line divot thing. And mind you, there's no paw from another bear in this, and I would have never cast this if I thought it was a bear double stepping, because I want a normal full bear print. Well, I guess it'd probably be smart if it was a double print just to print it so you have it for reference. But this is my first attempt, but it's kind of cool though. I guess there is some features, and with the little animal prints in it, was kind of cool, which is cool but not cool because kind of makes it harder to tell it. But if you can see, it's got the shape of a foot. All this is extra plaster from when I smoothed it out. We'll try to. A lot of this is extra because it measured 16 inches long. The back heel was 5 inches, and the front right up here was about 7. This was around 5 inches, and the whole length of it when I measured it. If you look at some of my pictures on my Instagram or Facebook, I think there actually might be a video on there too. I don't know. It shows the measurements and all the things that I did. And I found out from a gentleman on Facebook on one of the Bigfoot groups there is an app you can get that does 3D. So I want to try that and 3D this and see if it tells another story too. But I do know it was a massive print because what we saw and looked at was not a bear print. It didn't have any claws in it. It had toes, just like you see on a like the Patty film and all those, the Patterson Gibbon, and what was some of those older famous ones. It looked like a gigantic human foot, but this has that metatarsal, that break, and yeah. So far it's cleaned up pretty good. I don't think on this one you're gonna get much detail on seeing any dermal ridges or anything because of all the grass in it. It was in a really swampy area that dried up for the summer. And the cool thing is, when I went there, we had sit there for about 2 hours to let it set. I did a little research around it just to see if I could look at anything. Come to find out where this print was, I did find another, I think 2.5. I think there was 2. Because there was one other one next to it. Because I'm like, if there's a left, it's got to be a right, or a right, it's got to be a left. So I'm like, I looked, and there was. It just didn't know if I could cast it or not, so I didn't attempt it. And we had some people on the logging road near us, and I was just trying to get this out of here as soon as possible. And then a little bit behind it, I found it looked like another print. So there were multiple prints. It just was not just one. So it made it a little more credible. And not just that, this is the same spot that me and my buddy that works in ODF saw the, no, we didn't see, we heard wood knocks for the first time. And I now realizing all the coordinations and everything, I should have went back there and looked after the everything was over with the next day or something, because I probably would have found a really nice fresh print. Well, at least a day old print, and it probably would have been a little bit nicer, but to cast maybe, I don't know. But it was a lot swampier, so I don't know if I could even casted it or not, because pretty sure you can't use casting powder in water like to form. Doesn't work that way, I don't think. And on top of that, where the print was, well, these prints and this cast one, I looked and you could see the logging road, but if you go up on the road, you cannot see into the this swampy meadow thing, which is really cool and makes it even more probable of being something more on the Sasquatchy side of things. We heard the wood knock, I found the print, and I realized the vantage point it had, you could see the road, but anyone could not see you. And then on top of that, behind all these prints and all this stuff, there was this weird looking den thing that literally looked like something had made itself a den inside this blackberries and a tree, and then there was a tree break right in front of the entrance, which was really weird. It was older, so who knows how long ago it was, but some of the branches, like there were blackberry branches that looked like someone had grabbed them, broke them, and pushed them back, so there was so whatever it was able to lay in there. I didn't find any pine boughs or anything, which I'm like, I figured if something wanted to sleep on it, you'd want to not have a blackberry laying right under you, but I don't know. There could have been stuff in there a long time ago because it was old. And this is all in the same area, and then there was like 2 game trails, like good escape routes. There was one that went towards this other area that I'm looking at, and then one that went further into the woods towards the mountain where we heard the other wood knocks that same day of going up the hill. So all this stuff happened in the same spot. And I found this 16-inch track in that same location, right exactly about the area that we heard that really close wood knock. So I honestly I'm about 90% sure it was something. Well, for me, because I've seen one, if you've seen my YouTube videos, I've seen one. I'm about 90% sure it was a Sasquatch that was watching us. I'm not going to say that fully 100% because unless you saw it yourself or saw it, you can't completely say it wasn't maybe something like a hoax or something. You never know. I will never ever say something's completely 100% unless I see it with my own eyes. I mean, everything I do, I take with a truckload of salt, because not everything's Sasquatch in this world. So yeah, this is it. I'm gonna try to see about messing with that 3D print thing and see how that goes. If it comes out cool, I'll let you guys see what I find. But yeah, there's the deer print in the middle, and I think this might be an elk print. My girlfriend thinks so too. It looks like an elk walked through it too, which when we were sitting there, I didn't see it at the time, but this could have been a lot longer later because this deer track's deeper than this track. So I think this might have been a later date. And this was the initial track. Like the Bigfoot, like the Sasquatch, well, it wouldn't make sense. Why would they? I feel like an 800-pound animal would smush everything else out of the way. So there's that. But yeah, no, my very first time ever casting something, so it came out okay. I was hoping a little more detail, but I'm not going to be picky. I'm pretty sure I casted myself a Sasquatch print. Some of the details, the big toe and the toe right here that I can see with my eyes, and then I guess if you look harder, you can kind of see the other one. I don't have good eyesight, so it's hard for me to see things. And then that break here, they talk about on Sasquatch feet. It looks like it has that right here. So there's a lot of things going for it, and the fact that when I did the initial measurements before the casting of the 16-inch, and then around 5.5 inch around 5 inches on the heel, and then the 7 on the up here. I don't know what you'd call it, like the pad of your foot. It correlates with a lot of other reports of Sasquatch feet, and it sounds about the size range. And these things, it's not completely flat. If this was flat and I did not see this, I would start guessing there might be some tomfoolery going on. But no one really knows where I'm researching. That's the thing. And where I'm at, it's out in the middle of nowhere, and the only people you'll see out there are loggers, and they really don't know where I'm friends with a lot of them, but they don't know where I'm at. So, and this was before a lot of my friends knew what I was doing when I think this print occurred. Because I've been more public about it researching this past year and a half. So yeah, no, I'm happy with it. I'll put it on the shelf, and it'll be a good story piece. Like, it's not the most perfect, amazing looking thing on the planet, but I can say I casted a possible Sasquatch print. For most people, and looking on this video, it probably looks like a blob view with a abnormally weird toe right here. But if you looked at it in person, you might have second guesses. And if you want to see more details on it, go on my Instagram, Northwest Sasquatch Studies and Research. And there should be pictures on there. And if you have Facebook, I have it's the same name, Northwest Sasquatch Studies and Research, and I have a lot of pictures and stuff on there, and of my evidence and things like that. And if you want to know more about it, just send me a message on YouTube. But yeah, I'm on all social media platforms. I do a lot of short videos on my Bigfoot stuff on TikTok. It's like, I forgot what my name is. It's like Northwest Sasquatch Studies something. I'll put it in the bio what it is. But yeah, and this weekend we might be heading back up to Mount Hood if there's not a bunch of forest fires. And yeah, you have all a good night, and thanks for watching, and please subscribe. And if you have any questions or anything, send me a message, and I don't judge, and I'm always taking reports too in Oregon and in Washington too, because I have a lot of friends that do research all over the country, and I can always send them a report. Or if we're up there, because I have family in Washington, I will always try to go do a follow-up on a report too. And if you don't want your name brought up, everything can be confidential and disclosed, and only between me and you. Because all I do is I'll usually write it down in a book, which I need to start doing, because I have a bunch I need to do. So yeah, just send me a message if you have any reports or anything. Y'all have a good night. Thank you.